Hey guys, I'm doing a quick check-in here to make sure everybody can hear me and that you can see me. I'm a little bit at a disadvantage right now. Let me go ahead and pull up one more screen from the Discord. Um, Bear with me. Almost there, guys. Yikes, that screen is not supposed to be here. Now I'm in like everybody else. Alright, cool. Looks like you're able to hear me. Everybody's able to hear me so far as we get this thing started. Let's do this. Yeah, we were getting ready to try something new today. I guess we'll need to practice, not practice, but get it set up before we move into it. We did it a little fast. But now we have Eric, we have Mick, we have Ahmed, Decent Crypto Clothing. Yeah, a few other folks waiting in. Powell, yeah, I see you. Is the voice low or is it me? Let me turn up the volume. Hopefully you can hear me a little better at this point. Okay, I'm trying to make the webinar a little quick and fast today. Not quick and fast, but yet succinct, and give you guys information that you need. Today we're going over several things, several important updates. I'm going to do first the crypto market update as usual, and then we will move into the LightPayCoin site update. Then we'll discuss the Xchainz Excerpt functionality that we've added that will give some additional benefits not only to our projects LPC and LGS, but potentially other projects as well, if they're interested in being added to the Xchainz platform. And I'll talk through some of the functionality of the platform today. You're getting a preview of the functionality of the site. So, and then we'll also discuss the ATM and POS update in terms of where we are in the prep for the 26 full rollout. That is when the LPC will be available for purchase on ATMs and can be used to buy products and services via a point of sale device. Okay. Alright, so without any further ado, okay, let me see, raise up the volume. Okay, that's about as loud as it goes now. I'll get closer to the speaker if it makes sense. How about now? Is it okay now? Just give me a yes or a no, or that was Ahmed. The volume's fine. Okay. Alright, so with that said, guys, I'll try to speak up for Ahmed if he can't hear me and try to get things going. Yes, this is a nice polo shirt, man. I would like you guys, if you are interested in getting one of the shirts, you could actually make the purchase on the site. It's 40 USD. And actually, I put out some instructions. So basically, you have to verify on an account, on an address, a POS or a masternode address, and then send in the LPC within the transaction and indicate your size and the color, and we can get you one of the LPC shirts. Yeah, hey Eric. Yeah, I did send you a note on LinkedIn about getting hooked up with iCoin Man on the Linux wallet update. So, with that said, no further ado, guys. Let's move into the update that we have. So, for today, it's the case where it's a new year. I like to wish everybody a happy new year. It's 2019, a brand new year, and I think there's some great things actually on the way for this year for what we're doing in LPC. Covering the general market, we have a 130, roughly 131 billion in the total market cap for the industry. Everything today is up and green. And I would hope that it will stay up and green for the rest of the year, since we had a full year in a bear market. I think 2019 is the year of a full bull market. So just to go over what's happening in the charts globally for all of the currencies, we see when we hone in on the, let's do the 3-month. What we see here is that we've been having overall an increase, somewhat higher high. Then it went flat for a while, but now it's on the uptrend in terms of the overall market cap. So it's beginning to move on the upside, somewhat symmetric with this like reverse head and shoulders. Here's the head. Here's one shoulder, and then here's the other shoulder, if you would consider it as such. And it could indicate that we would have some upward momentum. However, we would definitely need more volume to come into the space as well. Somewhat higher volume than where it was, say, just a couple months back in October, and then moving into November as well. The volume is increasing. The volume is increasing. We're beginning to have, if you see this, if you can kind of hone in on this as a reverse head and shoulders, with this being the head, this being the shoulder, this being the other part of the shoulder. Classical technical analysis would suggest that's a reversal pattern. We would need to have more confirmation in the coming days to break through, say, that 150 billion mark. That would be confirmation of the pattern of the reverse head and shoulders. But that's the pattern that I'm looking at overall. So it does suggest that there is there is a pattern that's recognized in the charts to suggest that there may be a reversal on the way. But like I said, we still have to watch it. Give it another week or so and get some confirmation. If we break down to the downside, then it may just continue to be that descending triangle that we've seen ever since the beginning of the bear run that started in last year. Okay, so let's move a little bit now into the individual projects. LPC, LightPayCoin, we had 36 cents, nominal price 36 cents, down from where we were a few weeks ago, but still overall looks like these charts aren't moving too well. But anyway, we're ranked 600 out of 2,076 projects. We're in the top third of cryptocurrency projects in about 6 months. I'll continue to emphasize that over and over again, considering that we're a young project, just getting started. Got out to a pretty good start, but we need to make more progress, and that's what we'll continue to do, guys. Let's look at LGS here as well. It's at 64 cents nominal price, market cap of about $1 million or so. Taking a look at it on Masternodes Online. Let's move into where we are here. Just OPC. Okay, moving into the project. let's take a look at it from the masternodes perspective, because I know that's an area that we do track. You can only improve what you track and trace. What we're tracking and tracing now is our coverage and where we are in terms of the total number of masternodes. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have the 8th largest masternode network in the world, where we are now with LPC. And that's a big push. We were originally 11, number 11, and then we shot up 3 spots, 2 to 3 spots over the past few weeks since the holidays. Let's see where we are on LGS. Let's just type it in here. LGS is now over 1,200 masternodes, which is great. Even though it's at the price, it's at the cost of what the nominal price is. I'm assuming with the nominal price going down, more people have seen it as more attractive, and they're acquiring the nodes. So 1,255 nodes for LGS, roughly 3,200 nodes for LPC. Yes, almost 3,200 nodes. So let's see. I'm going through questions now. I see a question from Dave Wilson. An earlier webinar, I think you mentioned that the LGS wallet could play with the percentage of rewards after we reach the 21 million. Does this mean they are also connected to ATM/POS? And at some point, we do see a vision of LGS on the machines as well. And yes, it is the case. After 21 million coins are minted, the masternode owners will be able to set the fees. And same thing with the confirmation nodes as well. Be able to set the fees charged for transactions. So yes, that is the case, that masternode owners and confirmation node owners will be able to set those fees. If you can look at, fast forward into the future, well, not really in the future, but you look what's happening right now with the Lightning Network, or the Lightning nodes with Bitcoin. It's the case that the owners of the nodes are setting their fees. Looks like, from my perspective, the proof of work algos and algorithms, they're finding alternative solutions to speed up transactions. One way they're doing that is through like proof of stake and through the Lightning Network. There's some off-chain solutions when you look at, say, the Lightning Network, where owners of those individual nodes are setting their own fees and setting their rates. And from what my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's the case that it determines the most efficient route for the payment transaction. So with that being the case, it's the owners are competing against each other, or the node owners in the Lightning networks are competing against each other for a transaction. So you may set the transaction fee very, very low and increase the probability of your node being selected as a route that through which a transaction will be verified. So that's the scenario that will play out once LPC, LGS, they're at 21 million. So I hope that makes sense in terms of where we are and how fees can be set by the confirmation nodes, the regular wallets being staking, and the master nodes as well. And yes, we do see, say, LGS at some point being on the ATM machines. But the first go is the mission of having LPC deliver on its promise of being on ATMs, point of sale devices, and that's being realized now. But I'll give you guys a give you an update on the point of sale devices a little bit later after we go through the LPC site update. At this point, Dave, not quite sure. So on your question, how many masternodes we use to route, I'm not quite sure. So where we are now, but right now the way that it works is we have two tiers of the network. We have the confirmation nodes, or just the regular wallets, just to confirm transactions and place them on the blockchain, and then we have the anonymous and instant transactions. So typically every 1 minute, when there's a confirmation node that's selected, the confirmation node goes through the process of putting that block of transactions every 60 seconds on the chain. During that 60 seconds, if there are any instant transactions that are taking place, the confirmation node searches through the available masternodes that can make instant transactions, and then it routes it to the appropriate masternodes. But looking at the software, it seems like it would go through an additional step of identifying the one with the lowest fees associated with an instant transaction or anonymous transaction, and then route to the appropriate masternode. So that's my understanding of it. Excuse me. Roland. Oh yes. When LGS can be rechanged in LGS. That was an update that was supposedly to take place within 2 weeks from the initial rollout. To give some background on the team, with Icon Man, with Perlock doing most of the core development on the wallet, they're a bit behind schedule. So I would just ask for a little bit of patience. I'll do a follow-up with those guys today, when that LGS can come out of the wallet. Okay, let me make a little bit of headway, Dave, and I'll answer that next question. The next topic was discussing the LightPayCoin site update. I know you guys, and we've been getting it from the beginning, where a lot of people have been asking about, hey, your website is your brand. It shows the world what you're doing. It shows the world the roadmap, the team, and how we're making progress. I know the current website hasn't been updated, and we've been hearing that call time after time from different members of the community. In response to that, what we've done is the BAs, in addition to some members of the council, give a big shout out to Adam and for grabbing the bulls by the horn and running with it. They have built out the wireframes for the website. We have acquired another domain through which the new website will be available, and that's LightPayCoin.io. We've acquired that domain, the BAs and myself and the council, and the build will be actually in progress. We just acquired the domain like within the past 24 hours, and we have the hosting service, SSL, everything ready to be able to launch the new site. I would show you guys the wireframe, but that would take out a little bit of the bang in actually revealing the new site. So that's an update that I did want to give on the LPC website. So big shout out once again to Adam and the BAs for really taking the lead on that. Some of our BAs out of Venezuela, I know they're probably not on the call, but they're pretty proactive in getting LPC into VZ, and really helping out. So I do appreciate all the work that they've done so far. And that's with the LPC site update. At a later point in time, we'll let you guys know about a site update to LGS if anything's happening on that front. But with that said, it looks like there aren't any other questions. Yeah, that's another question that was coming from Dave. So I'll just quickly address that now. And masternodes will replenish ATMs. Explain how that works. Okay, there are several wallets that sit on an ATM on a local. There are several local wallets that correspond to the ATM. So it's the case that for them, you can arrange to have your the payment address or payments sent to that wallet from your masternode. The way that XPay is being configured on, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, the Xchainz site, is that you can take your rewards and then you can exchange your rewards for any of the currencies that sit on the wallet. Then send those funds to the wallet from the XPay site. So that's the ultimate vision, being able to take your rewards. So right now it's only 5.4 every 48 hours, and that's roughly like a maybe $2 and some change, $2 to $3. No, yeah, 33 cents, 5, yeah, almost a little over $2. So right now, if once again looking at the value of our project and the price catching up with the value of the project, it shouldn't be $2, say 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, when we're able to show value and people really see the impact that LPC is making. I foresee a state of affairs whereby the funds can be sent to the local wallets, and if there are any lower amount of currency, then the XPay would recognize when that's the case, and if you have an appropriate balance in from your masternodes on XPay, it would automatically send to those local wallets. So that's how that would work, and that's the vision for it now. It may change, but not too much from how I see it. We just want to remain compliant with the law and not necessarily be perceived as a money transmission service when only the transactions are happening between an exchange and the ATMs. No, we're not moving in that direction, but yet it's the case the transaction will be between the ATM owner and the consumer who's looking to purchase cryptocurrency, and that keeps us legal in terms of the ATMs. Cool. All right. As I mentioned before, LPC site update. We'll keep you guys in the loop in terms of once that's pushed out. Everything is already in place. The hosting service is already up. SSL is already up. The domain has been acquired, and it will have, like, from what I understand, all the team members on it. The updated roadmap, nice and sleek, man. When I saw it, I was like, cool, but I really don't want to spoil it for you guys. Just let you know that it is in progress and it's being put up. Excerpt. So with the with Excerpt, here's where we are with it. On the Xchainz site, we are building functionality that will serve the cryptocurrency space. It's all about adoption. It's all about how we are improving in our project, how we're adding additional functionality that can serve not only the cryptocurrency space, but the larger business community outside of cryptocurrency. For instance, when you think about academic transcripts, at this point, here's how the scenario works. If I want to purchase, if I want my transcripts to be sent to an organization because I'm applying for a job, I have to pay the university to send me an official copy of my transcripts. And say same thing with the diploma as well. I don't necessarily own my transcripts. With decentralized identity, with ownership being important these days in terms of owning data, owning your transcripts, it shouldn't be a question. If you've paid the university thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a degree, you shouldn't have to pay them to get a record of what you've done at the university. That transcript should be yours, that degree should be yours, and you should be able to give it to anybody on the world or any organization on demand. With that said, there are some universities that are moving along the path of providing digital degrees and digital transcripts that belong to the student. and those students can send those transcripts and those degrees to any organization that they'd like, and it would have a digital signature from the issuing organization saying, yes, this is a valid signature coming from the university stating that this record of transactions belong to this person. There's one organization that's out now called Excerpt. They're one of the leading organizations in providing digital certificates and transcripts. Well, what if we took that process of putting digital transcripts, degrees, digital certifications, verifiable certifications, or contracts, or any other like academic papers, and put them on our blockchain? Put them on the LGS blockchain, put them on the LPC blockchain. That's something that I see value in, and what we could be able to do. With that said, I took it upon myself to go ahead and do some initial work with the underlying technology. This is the same technology that's used with Excerpt, with the Bitcoin blockchain, in issuing degrees and certificates. It's the same underlying technology that's used with Ethereum and putting information on as well. Let me get to that section on the update. I'll update the section on the point of sales and the ATM device. So I'm still on the Excerpt part. That's the next area. All right, here we go. On the Excerpt, with Excerpt, we will move along and have any document, any digital document being placed on the LPC, LGS blockchain through the Excerpt application. So just as a quick example, what I was able to do is use some of the same underlying technology to place digital certifications, digital degrees on blockchain using the Bitcoin blockchain. And in essence, I was able to do the same thing using IPFS. So if most of you may or may not know, IPFS is what we call the Interplanetary File System, IPFS. Interplanetary File System is like a permanent record of any file, text, image, video. It can be placed on IPFS as a permanent record. Not necessarily a blockchain. You link to a blockchain to trace that transaction. I know, guys, what you're seeing now is a bunch of letters and numbers on IPFS. Excuse me. A bunch of letters and numbers on IPFS, and this is encrypted. So we have an encrypted message that sits behind this. Sits behind all of these letters and numbers. I'm trying to keep it simple and not necessarily dive into detail. But at the end of the day, we have an encrypted message that sits on IPFS, and it's a permanent message that sits on this blockchain. Now, say we have the secret phrase or the passphrase to get through this highly encrypted message, and we're able to decrypt the message. Once we're able to decrypt the message, you're able to see something like this. Now that the message has been decrypted, you can begin to see information about that message, which can be shared with any person or any organization. So here we have the information associated with the blockchain. This is the LightPayCoin blockchain, and here's the LightPayCoin address associated with this message. At the same time, here's the content of the message. It was confirmed, placed on our blockchain. Here's the transaction amount, how much it took. This is almost 4 1,000ths of a penny. Here's the transaction ID, and here's the owner of a digital asset. This owner of this asset is Dr. Herman Aguinis. He's, I think, the vice president of the Academy of Management. recently published a paper that I was very excited to see in terms of statistical bias, test bias in selection exams for educational institutions. Um, I asked him, could I place his document on our blockchain? He said, sure. So I got his permission and I issued this digital registration, this asset, which can be traced on the LPC blockchain through this transaction ID. Just like any regular transaction sending currency to one person to another, this digital asset, which can be seen here, and we'll go to this link later, has been placed on the LightPayCoin blockchain through this transaction. So if anyone were to copy this URL, click this link, and it's going to take you to the Explorer, and you'll be able to see that this transaction has been registered on the blockchain. It's verified, and this message itself is verified through this address and this signature associated with the private key associated with the public key address. So in essence, this public key address was generated from a private key, the same private key used to create this signature. So this basically means that the individual owning this address has verified this message, and you can copy this message from quote to quote and go into any wallet and verify the address to prove that it came from this particular address. So for instance, like the issue right now is, who's Satoshi Nakamoto? There are a lot of people claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto, but yet if Satoshi Nakamoto, or the person claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto, had the address, they could immediately send a message to say, hey, I'm Satoshi Nakamoto, and this is the first address on the LightPayCoin blockchain. And then they can send that message to anyone, and anybody with a Bitcoin wallet can verify the message that the person who says that they own the address actually owns the address. So this is a clear example of just message verification and a message signature, which in some states in the United States has the same standing as a written signature, verifying that, hey, the person at this address owns this address and has verified the content within this address. What I've done is I've placed this digital asset on a blockchain linked to LPC, and we can do this to any other with any other blockchain that's on the Excerpt or Xchainz website using the Excerpt application. So going to this message here, this digital asset. This digital asset is actually this academic paper. So as going through and just taking a look at it, actually it's a nice piece of work. It's a nice paper. Actually, it cites some of the research that I've done in the area of test bias and using artificial intelligence and information theory. At a later point in time, we'll move into that space, but we have to build the foundation first. But just to give you guys some context, this is a very nice paper placed on the IPFS remote and linked to the LPC blockchain, registered on the LPC blockchain. Once again, an encrypted message, which if you have the secret passphrase and you're giving authorization to view this private message, you put in the passphrase, you'd be able to view this particular message. Say the LightPayCoin blockchain, here's the address, here's the signature associated with the address that verifies this message, and here's the transaction of a digital asset being placed on the LPC blockchain, verified here and on IPFS forever. So that's a little bit in terms of what Excerpt is about and what we'll be beginning to do some pilots with some businesses, some educational institutions that want to be able to place transcripts and give the power back to the students, where they own their digital records, their micro-credentials, their transcripts, their degree, and they could send that information digitally to any organization, an employer, another school, And just imagine if a school shut down. If students had their records, they don't have to worry about how do I get my transcripts. That would be somewhat concerning, or their degrees. Or in an employment organization, how do you verify that you've had certain certifications? Say you get a Microsoft certification. Are Microsoft certifications on blockchain? Not yet, but we'll move in that direction. But this is just an example of what Excerpt is really all about. Being able to place any digital asset on a blockchain, trace it and track it, and being able to have access to that record. If you don't have the passphrase, you just see this. If you had the passphrase and you were authorized to view it, you'd see this, and you'd be able to see this, the actual asset itself. So I think it's a powerful demonstration of what blockchain applications can do. And we will roll it out for only LPC and LGS. At a later point in time, we will be opening it up for other projects to be able to place their assets on the blockchain as well. Securely place and track assets on the blockchain as well. You could also envision an application programming interface, and we're actively in the process of building that functionality out as well, where any business can send information and encrypt it on our blockchain, track it, trace it, analyze it, and this now falls into the vision of what LGS was intended to do, being able to track and trace transactions on an immutable ledger such as this, and being able to see who had what, follow the provenance of who took possession in the creation and subsequent chain of custody of a product as it moves from one location to the next. Having a sensor being able to register that information as it moves from one location to the next, as it changes custody from one entity to the next entity, that all can be placed and tracked on the LPC blockchain, or any other blockchain for that matter that's on the Excerpt platform. Okay. I'll take a quick pause on the Excerpt update for LPC, LGS at this point and take questions. I say, hey, and this is from the gym. Hey, the gym. A while back, you mentioned LPC or Xchainz might pursue in acquiring a banking license. I believe this could have been due to operate legally outside of the state of Texas. State of Texas in USA. Is this still on the cards for 2019? The banking license that initially we were pursuing was through our partnership and investment through Xchainz. So Xchainz is still actively pursuing getting a license to be able to transmit, banking license to be able to transmit funds, fiat to fiat, cryptocurrency to fiat. So that's something that they're still working on. I don't know where the exact status is right now, but it's still in the cards at this point. So yes, it's active. So it's the case, being able to sell ATM machines and being able to sell ATM machines in the state of Texas and outside of the state of Texas is not necessarily concerned because of the status of ATM machines being considered as necessarily kiosks, not necessarily as money transmission service devices. And even when you look at the current customers of CoinLogic, they do have some customers already in the United States outside of the state of Texas where the ATM machines are being used. So it's not necessarily illegal for us to operate at that level to be able to go from cryptocurrency to fiat, or fiat to cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency, and then cryptocurrency back to fiat. So right now the ATM machines, the way that they are set up, if we had 10,000 ATM machines in the relevant jurisdictions now, I'm just making a point. Even though Eurex is pursuing a banking license, it's the case we could operate just with the ATM machines on the ground to the degree that the ATM machines are feasible within country two-way. So, for instance, in Turkey, ATM machines are allowed, and we can have ATM machines on the ground in Turkey. Um, for instance, in Lagos, in Nigeria, there's a license that you would need, and that's why we have the EuroXIO to work on that, to have ATMs on the ground there as well. And it's just a license for money transmission services. But it's not just EuroXIO, but there are other individuals within the community who are already working on those issues for us. Within South Africa, ATM machines are allowed on the ground. So it's the case two-way, where you can insert fiat, take out cryptocurrency, and you can insert cryptocurrency and take out fiat. And across the United States and across South America, those ATM machines are allowable and can be used on the ground. So yes, it's still in the cards. I really do like the Gladiator in terms of its functionality, because it does have a card reader whereby individuals can purchase cryptocurrency and place it on their debit and credit cards within country, and then cash that out into fiat if they chose, or go to a Kentucky Fried Chicken or any other place that accepts cryptocurrency and use their debit and or credit cards with the cryptocurrency on it. So yes, it's still in the cards, but yes, we're moving in multiple directions, and we have various people within the community who are working on those issues. Okay, and that leads me to my next and my last point, since we're about 45 minutes in, and I think we're tracking pretty well, is around the rollout of the point-of-sale device ATM machines. Once again, guys, I want to emphasize that you can purchase the ATMs now. You can purchase the point-of-sale devices now. You can purchase the nice polo shirt with the LPC logo, branding the community. Right now, I don't think there should be any other. I don't think you're going to see me in any other shirt besides this one in branding. Um, I'm not. Some people like Roger Rivera. Some people like him. Some people hate his guts. But it's the case that he's very good at branding. He's very good at arguing his position, and I like what he's done. And everywhere he goes, you always see him in a Bitcoin shirt. So now this is my official shirt. You will not see me outside of the black polo, the white polo that I have, or any other color polo with the LPC logo. So at this point, I think every other member of the community, let's start branding, let's start building, let's start getting involved. You don't necessarily need to spend any crypto in the community or spend any fiat, as long as you're in a position where you're advocating for the project that you like. And if this is a project that you like and you would like to be a part of, and you want to be able to brand and build a community, go ahead and get a shirt. Go ahead and get a beanie to put on. We'll be rolling out a lot of other apparel and products. As I mentioned earlier, you just saw the excerpts, where the long-term vision is for any organization to get a very simple API document coming from Xchainz to begin to put any of their documents or any of their records online instantly. Very easy. So, and with that in mind, guys, it's all about education. It's all about adoption, and this is something that I would like to be able to bring to the larger community outside of the cryptocurrency space. We're going to start giving some courses, courses for individuals who want to learn about cryptocurrency, blockchain, and actually put documents on blockchain and learn how to use it. Businesses that want to keep track and trace and encrypt records so they're immutable and no one can break into it. And then be able to really brand it, not only for consumers or retail, but also for businesses. I'll take a quick pause there. When will the website roadmap checkpoints be updated? And that's from Residual Ron. Yes, it will be updated in the next rollout of the website. As I mentioned earlier, the LightPayCoin.io has been acquired. The servers have been, a hosting service has been provisioned. SSL has been provisioned, and the team is beginning to build out that website. So I'll give you guys some more updates when it's actually rolled out, and you will see the fleshed out roadmap with some additional things on it. Full team, all the BAs, some updated news, perhaps even a blog. I'm not quite sure just yet, but it's the case. It will be a website that will be updated on a regular basis, and I think it should be. Y'all got you guys deserve it. You've been keep holding us accountable, and some people knocking us across the head. The website is crappy. It needs to be updated. Yes, it does need to be updated. And now we're moving in that direction to actually get it done. So we'll keep you updated every single web update that we do from here on out. The website is on the agenda now. Yes, so that's what we'll do. Now, another question from Dave Wilson. Dave, you get the crypto question award for today. Just post your address, and we're going to see what we can do in terms of giving you an award for all the questions that you've asked today, which is a good thing. When CoinLogic update the ATM software, can existing ATM owners connect to LPC masternodes? From what from what I understand, they have a new software interface, and I'll be looking at that software interface and admin panel, not today, but tomorrow, in fact. And then I'll ask that question around existing owners connect to LPC masternodes, and I'll see where they are with that. But the team is very open. You got Lucas, you got Dwayne, what I call them DG1 and DG2. Dwayne Golden Sr., Dwayne Golden Jr., Dave, a few other guys who are working hard, and the ladies there as well, who are working hard, and they're very open to what we're proposing and opening up APIs so we can build the functionality from XPay to their interface to be able to give the functionality to current LPC and ATM owner, or current ATM owners, current and future LPC masternode, LGS masternode holders, and being able to communicate that information or communicate currency or transmit currency from XPay into the relevant currencies on the local wallet on the ATM to the ATMs itself. It would be huge. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So right now it's 10:52, and my mouth is sort of it's getting dry. I need to bring some water on. So I'll bring out some drinks next time. So make sure my mouth doesn't get dry. But let me see if there are any other questions or comments at this point, either about the LPC.io site with the update, the general market, the Excerpt with, once again, guys, I didn't see any excitement around the Excerpt being able to place documents on the LPC blockchain. That's big. We'll update the templates around where you would be able to see nice, aesthetically pleasing transactions where you have a degree that's on the LPC blockchain. You'd be able to view it and transmit it. But yeah, this I think, guys, this is really big in terms of what we've been able to do. Putting documents on a permanent ledger and linked to the LPC blockchain, or LPC or LGS blockchain right now. But then we'll also put other projects, perhaps some of our partners as well, on the Excerpt platform, and then just open it up. My vision is we could have every masternode project to immediately have that functionality, and then they could begin to push in their respective spaces as well. I think that's great. So we just have to look at what would it take in order to provide that functionality and capability for our partners coming on as well. So without any, if there aren't any other questions, no, thank you, Roland, man. You guys make this possible. So without me, or without you, being able to provide guidance, provide some interpretation, giving me your thoughts. Hey, the website is crappy. Get it fixed. I wouldn't have that motivation, but you keep me accountable, and I think you should do that. And I think it was Jan as well. I'm talking about the Linux wallet. The point of contact right now, I'm saying it on the live stream, so you know, for Jan, who was looking to get the Linux wallet fixed. Had a conversation with Vlad about updating the Linux wallet, and we went back and forth over the issue that was recurring on that particular wallet, and then now we have your point of contact at this point is iCoin Man. Touch base with him either on the LPC channel or LGS channel on Discord. Pull me into the conversation if you need to in order to get that issue and get it fixed. Decent crypto clothing. Hey, what does your decent crypto clothing, what does it look like? Do you have some LPC stuff that you can try to get? Let me see your stuff, man, and see if we can get some things out to the community. And you could be our official apparel provider. It's the case. I did reach out to the apparel provider and say, hey, y'all need to take some crypto for purchasing jackets, shirts, apparel. And they reached out and said, "Hey, I already forwarded this over to the payment team. Let's talk. Let's talk at the beginning of the year. It's the beginning of the year now, so I'll be sending a follow-up email in the coming days. But let me know, decent crypto clothing, if there's an actual brand or website behind your name in terms of what you're doing, and let's see the stuff that you have. I like these shirts. If you're able to have something that's competitive or something that's complementary, you don't necessarily have to compete all the time, but if you have something complementary to what we have and able to do it, then let's go ahead and see if we can move down that path. Will there be an LPC wallet update as soon as the LGS update takes place on LGS, the LGS wallet? The move will be over to LPC in terms of its update. So that's where we are on the LPC wallet update. I know there was a timeline for the wallets. Team has been swamped, distracted perhaps on a variety of different things, but yeah, it's the case. The LPC wallets will get updated as well. So I can put that on as an item too. So website update, LPC update. So you keep me accountable each call. Website update and LPC wallet update. Notwithstanding the Linux wallet issue, we haven't had any other concerns, any other issues with the wallets. They function well. You're able to anonymize currency if you want to anonymize your cryptocurrency through the obfuscation button that appears on the first page. But yeah, it's the case. Notwithstanding the Linux wallet issue, the LPC has been holding up pretty steady. But yeah, it could use a retweak here or there, and will do. And like I said, I'll mention the site and the wallet updates each and every call now. So just like we have the LPC market update, just consider the website update and the LPC wallet update as well. Alright guys, no preguntas at this point. I appreciate your time. Have any questions, hit me up in the channel, Discord, Twitter, LinkedIn. Not on Facebook. I am so anti-Facebook. Even though it's the case, they say they're coming out with their own stable coin. That sucks. Anyway, let me stop. What Facebook does really well, they have a huge audience. They're proposing to come out with their own stable coin. They're going to introduce billions of people to cryptocurrency, and I think that's a good thing. Our community, we have about 12, maybe 13,000 so far, just on different channels. 12,500 on Discord, another 3,000-4,000 on Twitter. Another 3,000-4,000 on Telegram. But we're 6 months out. But let's look to see what we can do in terms of getting some adoption in the business, the corporate communities, like on LinkedIn, making posts there as well. And then we can start. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, we can start making some progress in increasing our reach. But with Facebook announcing that they're going to release their own stable coin and introduce their users to cryptocurrency, I think is great, but I am so anti-Facebook otherwise. So, alright guys, if there are any other questions, let me know. And I appreciate you joining in today. Thanks again. Take care, folks.